In honor of Halloween coming up, this is Jack Handey's story, My First Day in Hell. My first day in hell is drawing to a close. They don't really have a sunset here, but the fires seem to dim a bit, and the screaming gets more subdued. Many of the demons are asleep now, their pointy tails curled up around themselves. They look so innocent, it's hard to believe that just a few hours ago they were raping and torturing us. The day started off at a party at the Chelsea Hotel, where some friends were daring me to do something. The next thing I knew, I was in hell. At first it seemed like a dream, but then you remember that 5-martini dreams are usually a lot worse. The ferry boat across the River Styx was so overcrowded, I thought the whole thing was gonna tip over. In fact, some demons on board were trying to rock us back and forth. Still, the sight of the towering cliffs of hell with evil, grinning dolphins swimming alongside is an unforgettable one. Wow, is this really hell? I said to the guy next to me. He said, yeah, it was. I asked him again just to make sure, but that made him start crying. Man, what's with that guy? There's a kind of custom station where a skeleton in a black robe checks a big book to make sure you're in there. It's kind of boring, but I guess you gotta do it. As his bony finger slowly scans the pages searching for your name, you can't help thinking, what does a skeleton need with a robe? Especially since it's so hot. The first thing you notice about hell, how hot it is. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's hot. But it's a steamy, sulfur kind of hot, like a spa or something. You might think people in hell are all nude, but that's a myth. You wear what you were last wearing. For instance, I am dressed like the German U-boat captain in the movie Das Boot, because that's what I wore to the party. It's an easy costume because all you really need is the hat. The bad part is people are always asking you who you are, even in hell. Come on! I'm the guy from Das Boot. The food here turns out to be surprisingly good. The trouble is, just about all of it is poisoned. So a few minutes after eating, you're doubled over in agony. The weird thing is, after you recover, you're ready to dig right in all over again. Despite the tasty food and the warm weather, there's a dark side to hell. For one thing, it's totally disorganized. How anything gets done down here is a miracle. You'll be herded along in one big line, then it'll separate into 3 lines, and then they'll come back together again for no apparent reason. It's crazy. You try to ask a demon a question, but he just looks at you. I don't mean to sound prejudiced, but you wonder if they even speak English. To relieve the boredom, you can throw rocks at other people in line. They'll just think it was a demon or something. But I discovered the hard way that the demons don't like it when they're beating someone and you join in. It's odd, but hell can be a lonely place, even with so many people. They all seem caught up in their own little worlds, running to and fro, wailing and tearing at their hair. You try to make conversation, but you can tell they're not listening. A malaise sits in. I thought getting a job might help. It turns out I have a lot of relatives in hell, and using connections I became an assistant to a demon who pulls people's teeth out. It wasn't actually a job, more of a internship. But I was eager, and at first it was kind of interesting. But after a while you start asking yourself, is this what I came to hell for? To hand different kinds of pliers to a demon? I started wondering if I even should have come to hell at all. Maybe I should have lived my life differently and gone to heaven instead. I was tormented. I had to get away. The endless lines, the senseless whipping, the forced sing-alongs. You get tired of trying to explain that you've already been branded, or that something that big won't fit in your ear, even with a hammer. I wandered off. I needed some me time. I came to a cave and went inside. Maybe I would find a place to meditate, or some gold nuggets. That's when it happened. One of those moments that could happen only in hell. I saw Satan. Some people have been in hell for thousands of years and have never seen Satan, but there he was. He was shorter than I expected and wearing a baseball cap. But he looked pretty good. He was standing on top of a big rock looking at some papers with his reading glasses. I think he was practicing a speech or something. "Hey, Satan," I yelled out, "how's it going?" I was immediately set upon by demons. Sorry. I can't begin to describe the tortures they inflicted on me because apparently they are trade secrets. Suffice it to say that even as you endure all that pain, you find yourself thinking, wow, how did they think of that? I'm still feeling a little dizzy, but at least the demons stuffed most of my parts back in me. But more important, my faith in hell as an exciting place where anything could happen has been restored. Hell, I've found, is what you make of it. I had better get some rest. They say the bees will be out soon, and it's hard to sleep with the constant stinging. I lost my internship, but apparently I can reapply in 100 years. Meanwhile, I've been assigned to a construction crew. Tomorrow we're supposed to build a huge monolith, then take picks and shovels and tear it down. And then beat each other to death with the shovels. It sounds pointless to me, but what do I know? I'm new here.